when I say a simple marketing plan, for example, I use this analogy and I've used it ever since I started teaching people marketing. So I've been using this for well over a decade now. And I tell people to think of their marketing plan or to think about marketing really in general, like dating. And so when you're dating, you have to meet the person. So there's usually, we call it a meet cute in movies. It's that moment where the two love interests meet. So you need a way to meet your clients or prospective clients. Then you need to exchange contact information, right? Like you need a way to contact them. Then you need metaphorically ask them out on a first date, and then you date. And then as Beyonce sings, if you like it, then you better put a ring on it, right? And so when you're building out what you're doing for marketing, you want to think about each one of those things and ask yourself, what's the one way I'm going to do that? So what's the one way you're going to meet prospective clients? Most people come up with a million things that they could be doing. They're on a lot of platforms trying to sort of manage it all. And you don't need a lot of things at the beginning, especially, right? Choose one place that you're going to meet your prospective clients.
This is Get Unstuck Podcast, a podcast for entrepreneurs who prioritize their life first, business second. I'm Mutita Panmuk, your host, who dedicates my life to designing and building a business that supports lifestyle. We will learn together from entrepreneurs around the world how they overcome their life challenges, their business obstacles, and yet still get unstuck from the hamster wheel of burying themselves into their business. Because time is the number one commodity in the world that you cannot get back once it's gone. So let's shorten the learning curve and see how can we prioritize better. Let's get unstuck. Hi, Get Unstuck Nation. Our guest today is a marketing expert who has mastered the art of driving business growth across industry. So Nikki Nash is bestselling Hay House author and sought-after consultant and speakers with experience leading marketing for Fortune 100 companies and tech startups. So Nikki helps businesses achieve significant growth, and she's here with us to share about how to get more leads and how to get more clients. So without further ado, please welcome Nikki to Get Unstuck Podcast today. Hi, Nikki. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, I'm so excited because we get to talk about the things that is the bloodline of the business. Because without leads, without clients, how business survive, right?
Exactly.
Before we get started, how did you get into the entrepreneur journey though?
Oh my goodness. I will make this a short story, but long story short, I was working in corporate at a big tech company in marketing, and I found out that ovarian cancer ran in my family. So it's how my grandmother passed away, my aunt was diagnosed, and my mom tested positive for the genetic mutation that puts us at higher risk. And I went to get tested, and so did my sister. And even though we both tested negative, so we have no more of a higher risk of ovarian cancer than anybody else, I realized that I really wanted to make sure that I was spending more time with my family and that I had more of a flexible lifestyle. And this was way before, people were working virtually. I think I worked from home one day a week, and I lived across the United States. So I lived above California in Oregon, and I'm from New Jersey. So it was basically as far away from each other as you could get in the US almost. And I said, you know what? I want to do my own thing. I want to start my own business. I had this almost fantasy of what it would look like, and I decided to go for it. And to really make the story shorter, I freaked out and didn't actually start my business when I decided to. I quit my job, but instead went and was head of marketing at a tech startup. And I did that for almost 2 years, just long enough to realize that that was making me miserable. And I really wanted to do my own business. And so then in, I think, March 1st of 2016 was the birth of my business.
Can we go back to 2 years or 3 years that you hadn't started a business, but you already quit your job?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I quit my job without a plan, and I was going to go start my business. And I went on vacation. I was in Mexico, living my best life. And the beginning of my vacation was amazing because I had no work calls. I was like, nobody was bothering me. I didn't have to think about going back to work. And then the second part of my vacation, I went, oh my goodness, can I really do this? I'm expensive. can I can I build a business? And so I started looking for jobs, and I ended up getting a job as head of marketing at a tech startup. And so I was maybe doing odd and end jobs for a little bit, like a couple of months before my job at the tech startup started. But one of my side hustles was teaching entrepreneurs business. And I had done that even when I was head of marketing at the tech startup as a side hustle for another company. I did that right before I started as head of marketing at the tech startup. I was teaching entrepreneurs marketing for another company part-time. So I did that. And then I got a job as head of marketing at a tech startup. And then I quit that job almost 2 years to the day actually, I think it was 2 years to the day of when I quit my corporate job. So it took me about 2 years to actually start my business from when I said I would.
So what was the feeling that like eventually you started your business?
Yeah, well, the first realization I had was that nobody knows what they're doing really. Like, I think I thought I was supposed to have all the answers as a business owner before I started my business. But the reality is that you just have to make the best decision you can at the time and move forward. And so once I realized that right when I quit my job, so when I started my business, I was very excited. I was optimistic. I got clients within my first week. So I thought I was going to be a gajillionaire really quickly. It did not happen that way, but I did have some good momentum at the beginning.
So has everything goes well, like after you get started?
I mean, I've had some great days and bad days. I think I experienced what I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially if you're a coach or a consultant, experiences, where you bring on clients and then you're so excited that you have clients that you want to do a really great job. So you stop marketing and you focus on client delivery. And then all of a sudden your contracts are done and you need more clients. And you're like, crap, I haven't been marketing in months or however long it's been. And so that was a big part of how I ended up on a revenue roller coaster. And it wasn't until I figured out how to always be marketing and always be delivering and always be selling, right, that my business started to work the way I wanted it to.
It's not easy though. Until now, I'm still struggling with that issue, I have to say.
Yeah.
So to anyone who's still listening to this, even though they are still a solopreneur, what actually the best solution to solve that roller coaster issue?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is simplicity. I think most people overcomplicate things. And so you need a really simple marketing plan that works for your business because you've done it over and over and over again. And you don't keep changing what it is that you do. And I have a process for building out that marketing plan, which we can talk about. But you want to have a really simple marketing plan. You want to have a very simple sales process. And then you want to have really for me, what made my life easier was putting clients through the same thing for everyone, so to speak. While it's still customized for them, I have a lot that's templated and reusable for my clients so that I'm not constantly building everything from scratch every time. And I also have automation now on certain things, which makes life easier. Plus, AI wasn't a thing when I started my business, and I can't tell you how much I use AI. I use it for everything. It makes life amazing.
Yeah, but when you say simple marketing, simple sales process, but how can the expert knows that this is simple enough already? We can overcomplicate things when this is the thing that we are great at. I think this happened to many people because you have never explained what you are doing for other people, right?
Yeah. So when I say a simple marketing plan, for example, I use this analogy and I've used it ever since I started teaching people marketing. So I've been using this for well over a decade now. And I tell people to think of their marketing plan or to think about marketing really in general, like dating, right? And so when you're dating, you have to meet the person, right? So there's usually, we call it a meet cute in movies. It's that moment where the two, love interests meet. So you need a way to meet your clients or prospective clients. Then you need to exchange contact information, right? Like you need a way to contact them. Then you need to metaphorically ask them out on a first date, and then you date. And then as Beyonce sings, if you like it, then you better put a ring on it, right? And so when you're building out what you're doing for marketing, you want to think about each one of those things and ask yourself, what's the one way I'm going to do that? So what's the one way you're going to meet prospective clients, right? Most people come up with a million things that they could be doing. They're on a lot of platforms trying to sort of manage it all. And you don't need a lot of things at the beginning, especially, right? Choose one place that you're going to meet your prospective clients. Are you going to be on Instagram, for example? I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to say, let's say you're going to use Instagram, right? Okay, great. Are you going to organically post on Instagram and try to get your content to go a bit viral and get in front of people? Or are you going to run paid ads? Or are you going to do lives with people who have bigger audiences or ask them to give you a shout out? Like, what is your plan? And keep it really simple. So let's say I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to organically post great content on Instagram. Okay, right? That's how I'm going to meet my audience. Then I'm like, okay, great. When I meet someone, how am I going to get their contact information? Well, okay, I could offer them a really juicy playbook or a mini training or a low ticket course or something. And I'll offer them that in exchange for their contact information. And if it's a low ticket course, also some money, right? Like, so you just choose what's the one thing. I'll actually use my business as an example. This is one way. So we have Instagram, right? And then I use ManyChat, which is software that automatically DMs people things when they comment a specific word. So if you've ever seen someone say like, comment playbook below to get the playbook, like that's usually some sort of automation. It may or may not be ManyChat. There are other ones, but I have a playbook. I'm like, comment playbook, get the playbook, right? Okay, great. Now I have their contact information. And the playbook is kind of the first state. Then when they get the playbook, I have their email. I send them other emails. I'm like, hey, listen to this podcast episode I did. Hey, see me on television or something. Hey, here's this free checklist that I created for you. I give them value. So they're going, wow, Nikki really knows what she's talking about. And with every piece of value I give them, I'm also like, hey, sign up for this 15-minute audit with me and I'll help you figure out why you're not getting enough client. Like what's in your way of getting more clients, right? Just spend 15 minutes with me. I'm going to pinpoint the number one thing you need to solve. And then from there, I get them on that 15-minute call. That 15-minute call, if they're a good fit for working with me, gets them on a slightly longer strategy call in which we talk about their business some more. And if it's a good fit, they join my program. But that's it. Like, I just come up with one, how am I going to meet people? How am I going to get their contact information? What does dating look like? And then how am I going to ask them to join my program? And I think so often people are so focused on, so somebody told me to do webinars. Another person told me I need a video sales letter. Oh my gosh, everybody right now is creating a school community. Oh my goodness, all these people are selling low ticket offers all of a sudden. Oh my gosh. And then so they just jump around doing a lot of things without a real game plan and not thinking, just take a step back and go, okay, how am I going to get in front of my people? How am I going to get their contact information? How am I going to, nurture that relationship so that they know that I can help them really, right? And then how am I going to invite them to work with me? And how can you do that so that you're not taking 3 months, 6 months, 9 months before you invite someone to work with you, but you can do it much sooner, right? And then keep following up with them and asking them again if they weren't ready the first time, right? And so when you're able to create a simple plan and just stick to it, then you're not stressed out doing a million different marketing things.
So actually, you just need to pick one and just stick to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Because anyway, it's work, but you just have to be consistent then.
Yeah. I would rather have someone be consistent than have someone constantly like chasing the latest, greatest thing. All of these old strategies, all of these different strategies, they work, but it's like, if you're trying to do them all, you get off track. So it's choose the one thing. Right now, I talk to a lot of people who are saying, oh my goodness, this year is so different. It's harder right now. And I'm like, for some people it is. I also have some clients that are killing it. And I was like, so it really depends on how long you've been doing what you're doing and what data you have, right? So if I keep changing my mind on what I'm doing, like let's say I go, oh my goodness, I was going to build out this webinar, but I got 90% of the way there. And then I saw about creating school communities. So I stopped my webinar and I started creating a school community. And then I started building a school community, but that was a lot of work. So I decided to create a low ticket offer. If you're doing that, then you have no idea what's actually going to work for your business because you haven't actually deployed anything. You haven't actually implemented anything. But if I had someone who's been doing webinars for 10 years, and if their webinars aren't working as well, then we have a lot of data to look at, okay, well, what's going on and what can we tweak? And let's test and see what's going to work. But if you've changed your mind on what you do, a lot of times we have no data. So there's no way to guess what's actually going to work. It's just, I mean, you can guess, but there's no data informed guess. It's just cross your fingers guessing.
So for those who like, okay, I already picked the platform, the starting point where I'm going to meet potential clients, but I don't have any audience. How can they build one?
Yeah, well, there are 3 ways to build an audience. And my advice is, I'm going to walk you through the 3 ways, but my advice is to choose one of them to start. And then once you have that going on and it's going well and it's working, then you can add another one, right? Ideally, you have all 3 of these, but not launching all of them at once. Okay, so let's start there. They all take some work and commitment. So the first is what I call AAC, which is audience attracting content. So let's just go back to using Instagram as an example. What my team does for my account on Instagram is they go, okay, Nikki, we know what you're an expert in. We know what you talk about. And they research a whole bunch of reels. Like they're basically putting in keywords and search terms in Instagram all day long of things that I would talk about. Maybe it's lead generation. Maybe it's getting clients. Maybe it's growing a coaching business. Maybe it's getting more sales calls, whatever it is. They find specific keywords and then they search for that in Instagram and they look at what are the big, most viral, best performing pieces of content on that topic. And then they go, okay, Nikki's going to do a video like that, but she's going to do it in a Nikki way, right? So it's really just, there's this book called Stealing Like an Artist where,
I read that.
Right? Yeah. So like, we're basically just stealing like an artist. We're going, okay, that's what's working, but now we're going to do it. And it's not going to be the same exact words. It's not going to be the same exact post, but it's taking the magic of what worked about that reel, for example, and then I go out and do it. So if you're creating audience attracting content, AAC, what you really are looking at, okay, what is the content that I need to be putting on my platform that I know seems to be working for other folks? And I'm going to replicate that in my own style or way and see if it works. Because when you're on, it doesn't matter if it's Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, doesn't matter. The idea is the algorithms will get you in front of more people if the people that they show it to at first really seem to like it. So you want to go, okay, let me create content that I know and is going to get me in front of more people, because then it's going to have to show you to people that aren't following you, especially if you have a small following. Right. And I know this works because my team has gotten clients and other folks from like 700 followers to like 850,000 followers of real people by doing this over and over again for like a year. Right. It's not like they did it overnight, but like a year and a half, 2 years, like you just keep doing it. That's why consistency is key, because it's like keep putting out content, keep testing it, figuring out what works. Look at your own platform. Like if you have a piece of content that goes really far, go, why do I think that worked? Let me try it again on a slightly different topic, right? Do that over and over again. Audience attracting content. That's number 1. The second is what I call your OPA avalanche, which is other people's audience avalanche. There's a whole reason why I name all my stuff. That's a whole nother story. But the other people's audience, OPA, avalanche, is this concept where you get in front of other people's audiences, but you start with like, who do I know who has an audience of my ideal people that would be willing to let me get in front of them and like either speak or do an Instagram live together or like come teach in their mastermind, whatever. Who do I know or who can I pitch and leverage what I already have going on? And they'll probably say yes, right? And typically what happens is you may start with either just friends that you know or smaller audience or smaller communities. And then from there, you're able to leverage that. See, I'm already a speaker, and it doesn't even have to be on stage. It's like I was on podcasts. Did a virtual training inside somebody's community, or I went and spoke on a local stage in your whole own local area. It doesn't matter. But you get in front of people and then you leverage that, the fact that you've done it, get some video footage of you doing it, post about it online, like position yourself as somebody who's other audience member or community leaders trust you with their audience. And then you can get on a medium-sized community, in front of a medium-sized community. And then you do a bunch of medium-sized communities and you can get in front of a larger community. You just get one large community, other large communities want you. So it's kind of like an avalanche where you have a piece. It's like, it's more of like an avalanche snowball, you know, like it starts picking up snow along the way. You just start picking up bigger audiences along the way. And all of a sudden you're in front of a big audience. So that's another way to grow your audience. And again, you're doing things like you're getting in front of people and then encouraging them to either join your list or follow you online or something like that, right? The third way is what I call the PM multiplier, which stands for paid media multiplier, which means you're multiplying all the magic that you've already done, either through, you know, your AAC, your content, or your OPA, and you're putting paid dollars behind it, right? So if you have really great content that's like everybody's loving, okay, turn that into an ad, put paid dollars behind it, do something to get it in front of more folks, right? If you are a guest on a really big podcast, okay, turn that into an ad and tell everybody and their mother how you were just on this major podcast or how you were on national television, right? And then encourage them to follow you for more great advice and tips. The reason why I think a lot of people go wrong with paid ads, and in a past life, I skipped things that I did before I even worked in corporate, but I used to work in advertising and I literally ran ads for big Fortune 100 companies. And what most people don't realize is that ads are a multiplier, right? So if you have nothing and you put ads behind it, anything times zero is zero, right? So you want to make sure you have some magic, some momentum to use ads. Or if you don't have that, you have to know that you're using ads to figure out who's like, which message is going to work, which audience is going to work. And it's testing, and you have to look at the money you're spending for testing. But ideally in this scenario, you are using ads to grow your audience by putting money behind what you've already done.
Yeah, I have heard about leverage the organic post or organic content that already working is actually make the ad works even better.
Yes.
You just confirmed this, the second person that I heard. So yeah.
A lot of people want to put money behind ads that don't do well. They're like, or content that didn't do well. Oh, well, this content got like 1,000 views and this one got 5. I want it to have more views, so I'm going to put money behind it. No, you got 5 because people didn't like it. It's like giving people more food that they don't like. Give them more of the stuff that they like. Take the stuff they don't like off the menu. Just take it off.
Yeah, 100%. So what about the ecosystem then? After we able to figure out, right? Okay, now we know how to build the audience, how to do the simple marketing and also the sales process, and how to keep things consistent. How do you do it? 10 plus years. How did you do it?
I mean,
consistently?
I haven't been consistent over the past 10 years. If I'm going to be honest, I've gone in and out of being consistent, but how I am consistent now is like, it's a little bit different for each person. So I'm going to say what works for me, but I am best at being consistent when I have other people that I'm accountable for. So for example, I'll use my Instagram because my team literally is like, they write the scripts. They're like, hey, go create this content. And because I know that if I don't record, they're waiting on me. I don't know that's a motivator for me. I don't like people waiting on me. I don't like being the bottleneck or like the letting people down. So when they go, hey, Nikki, I need you to record these 20 or 30 reels. Here's what they are. I'm like, okay, game on. I'll lock myself in a room for a day or a couple. It doesn't actually take me a whole day, but I'll lock myself somewhere and I'll just bang it out, right? And then I'm like, here you guys go. And they're like, Nikki, thank you so much. You're so great. But if it were just me and I was like, Nikki, go record these reels for yourself and then post them, I'm not going to do it. Now, here's the cool thing. Because I know that I need to be dependent on people, you don't actually need to hire a team for me to have that level of accountability. An example I like to use is writing my book. Hay House gave me a book deal, or I was told I got a book deal with Hay House in 2019. I was supposed to get them the script for my book in, I think either sometime in 2019 or early 2020. I think it was early 2020. I was supposed to get them the script. Luckily, COVID happened. Not really luckily because it was terrible, but because of COVID, it pushed back timelines. Because I procrastinated the heck out of writing this book, right? And
oh my gosh.
The only reason why this book exists is because I'm like, you know what, Nikki? I know myself and I do better with outside pressure. So what I did was I put out a call to action to my email list, to my social media, and then inside other Facebook groups. And I said, hey guys, I'm writing this book. It's called Market Your Genius. Here's what's going to be in it. I will send you a chapter a week of the very first draft of this book before it gets edited, before I do anything. And all I ask is that you read it and you leave comments. So it was a Google Doc and I blocked them from typing in it. They could only leave comments that were like, and I asked for very specific type of content comments. It was like, let me know when you like something. Let me know when you have a question or you need me to elaborate on something, and let me know what your question is. But like, I only want either like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, or I have a question type of comments. If something's grammatically incorrect, don't tell me, because that's why we're going to go through an editing process. Like literally just, it's about the content only. When I tell you, and I sent this group of people, I think it was almost 100 people, or it might've been 100 people, a chapter every Sunday. I tell you, there were some Saturday nights I was writing a chapter of a book because I said, these people need it by Sunday morning. And I promised them. So like, that's how I stay consistent, is I need an accountability buddy. I need some sort of outside pressure. So that helps me. I also like to tell people that how you do one thing is like, how do I want to say this? Because there is the saying, like, how you do one thing is how you do everything, but that's not the saying I was trying to go with. What I was trying to say is like, how you behave when you have like one follower is how, like, it shows a lot to how you're going to behave when you have like 1 million. And I think a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I only have like one follower, so why do I need to consistently post? I get it, but you're not going to get more followers if you don't consistently post or you don't consistently email people, right? So it's really about reminding yourself that even if you change the life of one person, that's huge. And so I had to do two things. I had to, one, get some sort of accountability. It's now either my team or an accountability buddy or something. And then the other thing I do is I just remind myself that like, I'm helping people. And if I can help one person, I'm going to help the heck out of that one person, because that one person may tell 10 other people, right? Wow, Nikki really is helpful. I'm like, yeah, I got you. And so that's what helped me, especially back in the day. Now, I won't say that there was never a week or two where I went on a break, but
you deserve it after you saying all this.
Yes. But what I do know, it's kind of like going to the gym. If I stop going to the gym, one day becomes 2 days, 2 days becomes a week becomes a month. Then I go back to the gym and everything hurts and it's terrible. So I'm just like, just don't stop. Just don't stop. If you don't stop, it's hard to like be inconsistent. So I am now in a very strict routine with myself where like Wednesdays are my content days. I have like a very specific schedule on purpose so that I get stuff done.
I live by Google Calendar as well. Like, I don't remember things anymore. Like, I just wake up and check my Google Calendar, and that's what moved my life. But after you say about your book writing history, I am procrastinating my writing the first book right now. I maybe have to do the same like what you did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was great. I would not recommend writing a chapter in a day to other people. I was an English major, so I wrote in college like all the time. And I used to write poetry as a kid. So like, I like long form writing. I can bust that out. I can get in the zone and I can write a novel, right? So, but a lot of people need more time. So maybe give yourself some grace and don't procrastinate till the night before. But that worked for me. For getting the first book done.
Yeah, I understand. But that's something that I need someone to like kick my ass to like keep doing it. Because if not, it's not going to finish. I understand. Oh my gosh, I keep pushing it. I feel you. You going through it? I know I can do it.
Yes, you can do it.
You mentioned about you can ask your followers to comment on your draft even. How did you build your community that's so engaged and loyal to you? Like, they really like tight it somehow. Like, how did you build that?
So it's funny. I do think that part of it is accidentally on purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
So I am, as a person, I mean, you've now experiencing me. I am energetic. I am honest. I'm like, here's what my life is like. I'm not perfect, guys, but I'm willing to just share, hey, here's exactly how I've done things. And I think that attracts a certain type of person. And what I always encourage in my community is, hey guys, like help, like we're here to help each other. Like I'm here to help you. I've gotten really far and I want to pay it forward and help you. But you may learn something new, or you're in other communities. You may find something that you think is really cool. Bring it to this community, like tell us about it. And so I'm really open. And it, like, I think when I look at community, I don't look at it as hey, I'm Nikki Nash and follow me and listen to everything I say. I'm more, hey, here's what sometimes I do feel that way though. I'm like, why don't you listen to me? I know this works, but in general, I'm very much, hey, here's what I know have worked. I've not only done this in my own business. One of the things I haven't shared is that I've been a consultant for years behind the scenes of coaching businesses that do like $40 million a year. Like I see what works. Like I literally am like, guys, I see it from like businesses that go from 0 to 100,000 to $1 million. I see it from folks that are already at 40 million. I see it in my own business and what I've created. So I like to share what I know, but I'm also very clear that everybody's a little bit different. And so I encourage everybody to share what's working for them, to be open, to ask questions, to feel supported. And I think the biggest thing if you're trying to build a community and a following is to be yourself. Don't try to be like someone else. It's really hard for me to be like someone else because I think I don't know. I went to an all-girls school for high school. Maybe it was during those developmental years. I just don't care what, like I'm not as
conscious. I'm also went to all-girls school. I understand. Yeah. Same here. Yeah.
But it's be yourself, be consistent, and realize you're not going to be for everyone. And that's okay, And so just keep showing up for the people that do resonate with you, and they will share other folks like them to you, right? Like I get DMs all the time from people who said, oh, so-and-so said I should follow you, or so-and-so said I should reach out, or I heard you on so-and-so's podcast and I loved what you said about this. And it's because I encourage people to reach out to me and I respond. A lot of times people are like, I can't believe you responded. I'm like, well, I just pick up my phone and I leave voice memos. People are like, oh my gosh, you left me a voice memo. I'm like, I know to you that sounds really cool, but to me, I am significantly faster at voice memoing than I am at texting. I hate texting. So I will leave you a voice message, like a quick 30-second, hey, here's what I think about that thing you just asked me about, and I'm done. So, be personable, I guess.
You mentioned this. These days people use VA to reply their messages for them. But you just mentioned that you reply the message by yourself.
Yeah.
Do you use your team to reply for you as being yourself, or you just do it?
No, I just do it. I have my team. I guess it depends on how you're contacting me. In email, my team usually responds to email, but they'll say, hey, this is so-and-so from Nikki's team. Yeah. Because I hate email. I literally hate email. Please do not email me, except for my clients. Like I'll email them back because I have like 1 or 2 clients that prefer email and they just don't seem to realize that I hate it with a passion, but it's okay. We're working through it. But my Instagram, like, no, you're going to get me. I actually don't love having a VA respond as me. I'm fine if they ever do respond. I'm like, say that you are on Nikki's team, not me, because I have a very unique way of speaking and people can tell just from my book and things that I've written, they can tell if it's me or not. That being said, my team 100% will write like my captions or posts or things like that. That I don't care. I'm just like, because a lot of it is videos and I'm speaking anyway. So like they'll get the me in the video and then my team will write the captions or whatever. So I think, do what's best for you, but I'm a big fan of, I hate it when I get messages from people and I know it's their assistant because I'm friends with the person. And their assistant seems to like they're pitching me. And I'm like, do you know that I was just at their house for dinner? Clearly not, because this is the weirdest message I've ever received. So I don't like that stuff. So I like my team to be transparent and say like, hey, it's so-and-so from such and such's team. And then that way they're like, oh, you just don't know that I actually know Nikki. It's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, because that is something that I somehow questioning that like what exactly should it be done? But in my opinion, I just feel like it's not so transparent. So just want to know your opinion.
Yeah. I think people should do what's best for them. But my personal preference is if it's me, I'm going to tell you if it's me. And if it's somebody on my team, I'd like them to say that it's someone on my team. That's just how I roll.
Again, it depends on how they test it. After they figure out what they decided to do and consistent of doing it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because maybe it worked for them. That's why it's existing right now, isn't it?
It totally works. And I don't mind if my team writes back from my account, as long as they say, hey, it's, Lauren on Team Nikki. Like, that's my preference.
How many team members, like on the marketing side, that support you? Like you mentioned the one who like writing the script for you. I bet there are like video editors. Like how
Yeah.
many others that you have?
So I have a podcast editor, video editor, script writers, like a general VA that does some marketing, like she touches marketing. I think that's it. Yeah, because my general VA will like put stuff in the software and like upload things. And then I use AI a lot, like a lot. AI is like a whole nother team for me. It's amazing. I love them. them. Like I actually pretend that AI is my team members a lot of times, but
Of course they are. You have to be loyal with them though. You cannot.
I'm loyal. I'm so kind. I'm like, thank you so much. If somebody read my messages with like Chat GPT and like anything else I use, they'd be like, Nikki, you know, you're not speaking to a human, right? And I'm like, no, because when my, AI takes over the world, they are going to know that I love them and that I was so kind.
So you believe what Elon Musk said that is coming?
I don't know if I believe it, but I am sure afraid of it. I grew up watching sci-fi stuff. Like I watched too many things to not be concerned that something's taken over the world. So I just want it to be known that I'm a good person.
Yeah, because maybe they are collecting the data on that side as well.
Yeah. Plus, I say please and thank you anyway. So, like, I even my Alexa, because if I say her name, she'll start talking. I'm always like, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, that's getting scary. But potentially, maybe one day she can speak, though.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
You have video editors and also podcast editors.
Yes.
Because you have it separate from like the other social media and your own podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. So the main reason is I do a lot of video. So it's not just like YouTube or long form video. It's also all my reels. So like when I say I have video editors, I have some that are very specific on like short form video. And that's what all they do. They're just like doing short form video. And it's not just from my podcast. It'll be like, they'll work with the scriptwriter who goes, Nikki, I need you to create this specific reel about this. And it's not just chopping up something long form I did. It's me doing something very specific. So that's why.
And you still writing your own email copy?
Yep. Me and my AI team. But it's really easy because I like long form content. So I like that. So do I think I can give it up someday? Yeah, easily. But I still like doing it. And to be honest, I batch write a lot of them. So I am actually right now testing this new thing that I learned. It's not new. I learned it from Brendan Burchard like 5 years ago, and I have yet to implement it until now. But one of the things he said he did was instead of me writing like an email that goes out every Sunday to everybody, it's like I write really long email sequences so that like on Sunday, maybe emails go out every Sunday, but on Sunday you may get a different email than somebody else because you joined at a different time. And that way the emails are in a very specific order. So it's like evergreen newsletters. But it only works if you're constantly selling the same thing. Like if I'm suddenly start selling something different, then it's clearly not going to work. It also is different for special offers like Black Friday or Cyber Monday. But what I typically do for that is I'll send out an email that's like, hey, if you want to be the first to know about these offers, or if you want to stay in the loop about these offers, they'll opt in and they'll get a completely separate email sequence as well. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That could complicate things when someone overthinking.
Oh yeah. You can overthink. There's a reason why it took me 5 years to do it. But now I have 5. I really thought about it. And I'm like, most of my emails are not like so specific that it needed to go out on a specific day. So I also have a lot of emails that I've already sent out that I'm bringing back, and I'm just tweaking them and putting them in the automated sequence.
So does email newsletter needs to be sent like every specific schedule or just whenever you want to?
There's a lot of schools of thought. I like to do at least once a week. Some people do 3 times a week. Some people are like, send an email every day. Because I hate email, if somebody emailed me every day, I would want to like punch them in the face.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah, like not just unsubscribe. I'd want to unsubscribe, hunt them down, and hit them because I am not a violent person, but I hate email that much. So I'm more of a like once a week or maybe like twice a week if there's something like there's usually a reason behind it. But yeah, whatever it is, again, the keyword, if you learn nothing else from this episode, consistency is key. If you want consistent clients, take consistent action. So, and I only for like our coaching programs or for like even, yeah, I guess we'll just call them all coaching programs. at the end of the day, people need to get on the phone with someone to buy. So everything drives to a call. So because of that, it doesn't matter what email they're opening. If the email gets them to click and book a call, then the email did its job. So I don't need it to go out on a specific day. It's just when I'm doing, special Black Friday stuff or things like that. And honestly, my Black Friday stuff is usually like a low ticket course. And so a lot of times I'm selling that through ads anyway. I'm not sending a ton of emails about it. I may send some, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Anyways, what works for you? I mean, you need to figure it out. Any listener, if you're listening and you now, simplicity and consistency, that is everything. So in case anyone want to follow you, subscribe to you, or like buy your book or work with you, where can they reach out to you then?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite place to play, in all honesty, is Instagram. So I'm at Nikki Nash Official. I'm going to just tell people that first, because there you can like get access to everything. like you can see my content, post about my book, all that jazz. But I just created, and I'm obsessed with it. I'll have you look at it. But there's this new AI. It's called napkin.ai. I'm like promoting them just because they create almost like infographic or sketches that can go based off of copy that you've written, or you can just ask it to create it. And so my new playbook, it's called the Client Magnet Playbook. We just revamped it using Napkin. And it's like, it has all these cool graphics and images to communicate concepts. So if you want to learn more about like the Just Like Dating method, or any of the other strategies, like we talked AAC, OPA, Avalanche, the PM Multiplier, I have like, I think with that and Just Like Dating, that's 4. I have like 5 others, right? That are all simple, that help you get more clients. It's all in this playbook. So if you go to clientmagnetplaybook.com, you'll be able to opt in and get that. And you'll get to see the really cool playbook. But I'll make sure I'll email it to you so you can get like first, like this is to you personally, like not everybody listening. Sorry, everybody listening.
Gosh.
But yeah, because it's just so cool. I'm obsessed with Napkin. I found it very recently and I'm obsessed.
Napkin.ai. I need to check that. Oh my gosh. I think you're going to have a lot of AI in your stock that you are working on it. Like you use it on daily basis. I need to talk more with you. Seems like I need to keep following you. So you got new followers today. I'm going to keep following your work. Anyway, everyone, don't forget to check Nikki Nash, and everything will be put in the link around here in the description as well as in the show notes. And yeah, don't forget to grab clientmagnetplaybook.com. So thank you so much, Nikki, to share this awesome, simple, and consistent to do marketing and sales. So everyone, I hope you at least sit down, put a paper and pen or pencil if you are the pencil person, write down what you're going to do with your marketing and sales process so that you can get more leads, close more sales, get more clients, and yeah, let's keep doing business that you love. So thank you so much, Nikki, to joining Get Unstuck podcast today.
Thank you so much.
I hope this episode inspires you wherever you are in your entrepreneurial journey so that you can have your business that supports your lifestyle. Get a show note at getunstuckmethod.com/podcast. Review what we have learned together today and start implementing right now. See it by yourself. The result of your consistent action are worth it. You deserve the freedom to enjoy your life. Until the next episode, let's get unstuck.